Hey everyone, welcome back to Poppin' In with Alexa and Molly. I'm Alexa.
I'm Molly.
And today you're here with two, maybe not superheroes, but superheroes to someone, hopefully. Maybe to our fans and our listeners.
Aww.
Maybe. If not, don't tell us.
Okay.
I want to live in this fictional world where maybe people really love us and think that we're really special.
You're my hero.
Aw, I love that. You're mine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, if you haven't guessed by now, which I'm not sure you would have, but that was a really fun intro.
Thank you. I can't tell by your reaction.
No, it was cute. It was so I wasn't sure where you were going, but I think it was really nice.
I feel self-conscious because we've been talking about humor for like an hour.
I know,
like
so
really
you're like,
dissected
am I funny?
the anals of
We were sorry.
Wait, the canal. You know what I'm saying? Like
ow.
Whatever, of comedy.
We were downstairs literally dissecting Alexa's humor, like sense of humor for like an hour until I was finally like, it's after 8 p.m. We should probably go record.
And I want to say I wasn't the one who was like, let's talk about my humor. I hope people don't think that I'm so self-absorbed.
Listen, stop being self-conscious.
Okay.
Be yourself.
Okay.
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 So what are you popping with this week?
Okay. I am popping with Hadestown.
Okay, because you and your mom were going to go see it, right?
We saw it yesterday. Okay,
Nice.
So Hadestown, I have actually seen the show, like the traveling show, back in 2023. Shout out Audrey. I don't think she listens, but I saw it with her originally in Richmond. And I saw it, so they came back together, like the original Broadway cast came for like a reunion, I guess, and like they filmed it for to like release in theaters. So it was like a filmed version, and they released it in theaters. And my mom had never seen it. I was like, you would love this show because it was so good. Like, it's such a good show. So we went to go see it yesterday. All the like showings are like so packed. I think they added show times, but we saw it yesterday afternoon. I'm not kidding. I cried the whole time.
Really?
Like, I literally sat there and was just steadily, like, tears. It was that thing where, like I was, like, trying to hold it in. Just, like, tears were literally, like, I don't know what it was, but seeing this cast, like, come together, you could tell it was, like, emotional for them. I don't know if it was, like, their first show or maybe it was their only show where they did it. I'm not sure how that worked. But you could just like feel the energy, and it was crazy because I almost feel like I enjoyed this more than actually seeing the show. Like, seeing the show was also like magical, but like something about like the way they filmed this, like it was just so good. And the music, if you haven't like seen it, it's basically like about Greek mythology, which is very funny because the Odyssey, and it's just like the music is so good. It's one of those shows where they've got the band on stage, which is always like really special to me.
Oh, nice.
And they're like part of the show. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's such a special show. It won the Tony Award for Best Musical back in like I don't even know what year, 2018 or something like that. And the cast is amazing. It's just such a good show that I was so emotional the entire time. Yeah. It was so good.
Well, that's great. I'm glad. Did you see it at our friend Greg Marcus Movie Tavern?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yep. Well, I love that.
Shout out my mom. Like, at one point I turned to her because, like, again, she had never seen the musical before, and I like turned to her and I was like, "Do you like it?" And she was like, I was like, oh, okay.
I could see that, yeah. I love that you guys go to like New York, like you have your little tradition and like see like Broadway.
We do,
and
she said, she was like, I would see that on Broadway, and I was like, I want to see the third time. So.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah,
very nice. I'm popping with, and this is a bit of a pivot, White Chicks.
You did say you were gonna watch that this weekend,
and I did, and you know what? I can't remember the last time I saw it. It is so funny. It is like such a stupid movie, but like
Did you laugh?
I did. I laughed very hard. And
I've actually never seen it.
What?
Yeah.
You've never seen White Chicks?
No. Which is crazy. I love the Wayans brothers, but I just have never seen it.
Okay, that makes sense because friend of the pod, Tanya, was talking about White Chicks in a group message, and I thought it was in a group message with you, and then like it was like Chris said something, and I was like, wait a second, I should look at who's in these group messages. Not that there's any big deal, but I was like, I don't know, the jokes are like so timely. They're so pop culture coded of the early 2000s. Like I was just sitting there, I was like, God, I love being a millennial. I was like, this is so funny. Like, and it is like a slightly obviously offensive in certain ways, I guess, but it's like also not. Like,
yeah.
it leans into it in a way that it makes it like not offensive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I've just, for some reason, I've never seen it.
Terry Crews is so funny in it too. Like, just his, like, facial act. Like, he has a good, like body humor in it or whatever. And again, like, you have to, the first, like, 10 minutes, I was like, oh, maybe this isn't as funny as I remembered. But then, like, I don't know, you kind of settle into it, and then you're just like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like, it is, like, it's so dumb, but it's, like, such a, like, time capsule of the early 2000s. Like,
yeah.
Shout out White Chicks. The movie and people, I guess.
No.
The two of us.
Shout out these two white chicks.
Yeah.
But not just white chicks.
Yeah, exactly. All the chicks, you know? But specifically the movie. And like, it's the Wayans brothers. I didn't realize there was 4 of them.
Yeah, well, I think is their dad, like, or he's not a brother, never mind.
No.
I was like...
There's one that's, like, also an actor that I guess he's just not in a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, these brothers actors.
I feel like Marlon is my favorite.
Yeah. But, like, I recently, and I'll admit this to everyone, because Chris exposed me, I recently thought Sacha Baron Cohen was a member of the Coen brothers.
That was maybe the most shocking thing. I think I, like, scream laughed when I first, because we found this out a week ago after the podcast. We were downstairs eating our little dinner, watching our little show, and Chris paused it and was like, did you tell her about the Coen brothers thing? And that sentence could not have led me to what I heard next.
And it was, the thing is, I was
that
so
you were
serious.
like, wait, what did you say? You were like, oh, because you guys were talking about Frances McDormand, right?
We were watching 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and I guess Frances McDormand is married to, like, one of the Coen brothers.
I had no idea about that,
and
by
I
the
said
way.
to Chris, as he's reading
Makes
this
sense.
Wikipedia page very seriously, I'm like, and he was
no,
like...
or I thought you were just like, I wonder which brother she's married to, because Sasha is married to Isla Fisher.
Oh,
Didn't
something
you say
like
something
that,
like
yes,
that? And
yeah.
he just was like, what? I screamed when I found that out. You thought that Borat is one of the Coen brothers?
And I thought, I was like, you know, sometimes, like,
which
people who
I
are
really
comedians
like Sacha Baron Cohen, but
are, like, really, like, they can do drama. They can be really genius. I was like, I guess he's just across the board a star.
That's really funny.
So, anyways, that's
it's not hitting now as it was last week, but that was maybe the funniest thing. That's the funniest mistake I think I've heard you make.
It was pretty crazy.
Not that you make a lot of mistakes, but you know how, like, you're like...
And I want you to know, like, I thought about it regularly. Like, anytime he got brought up, I'd be like, there's one of the Coen brothers.
That's crazy to me. It actually really bothers me that you were living life just thinking that.
Yeah, I do feel like I need to, like, take a hard look in the mirror and, like, really reassess my life.
It's not that deep.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Also, side note, what I'm also popping in with, that you just took a picture with, my little horsey that I got on the bookshelf. I bought the little Trojan horse popcorn bucket. Shout out the Odyssey. Go listen to our previous episode. That horse is probably going to be buried with me. It is sturdy as fuck.
Yeah, the stomach opens, and that's the way that you put the popcorn in and eat the popcorn, and we're not completely confident that was the right decision on their part.
No, but like I said, I think it is the most unique popcorn bucket design, but the worst design for actually eating popcorn.
The bong for Scary Movie 6 was kind of wild.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because I don't get how you would get that. So that's one where it's like, okay, it's like through the thing.
Yeah.
But then like you open it, I think at the bottom. And again, I'm not sure that's a great design.
Yeah,
design flaw.
But anyway, so he's watching over us as we record now,
is.
forever and always.
Thank you, Trojan horse.
Thank you. We're taking I'm taking considerations as names. You guys let me know. I'll let the viewers name him. The listeners.
Oh, we'll put a little. Okay, I'll put a poll up.
Yeah, we'll do it when this episode goes live.
Mm-hmm.
What should Alexa name her horsey? Mm-hmm. Perfect.
I think we said like Troy or something.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Troy Bolton. Okay. T as in Troy.
Oh.
Anyways, so tell us about. Okay, I have a first question before we get into this. Okay. So you wrote SDCC. What does that mean?
That stands for San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay, I was like, is this DC Comics?
No, we're not. I'm not even touching DC today. I'm just going to talk about Marvel, because that's kind of the biggest thing. I think after Supergirl, DC seemed to be kind of laying low at this. So we're talking about, I wouldn't normally, we're about to nerd out here, okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about, like, everything that was, like, announced at Comic-Con this weekend. This weekend was San Diego Comic-Con, which is, like, obviously the big...
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and describe San Diego Comic-Con, but...
We know.
Yeah. But there were a bunch of, like, big Marvel announcements, and that's kind of what, like, is important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about it. I know some of you care about this.
I'm excited, actually. I heard about one of these that I'm really excited about.
I think probably the same thing.
Yeah.
So probably the biggest announcements were for Black Panther and Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a ton of huge like upcoming movies, like Avengers Doomsday later this year, and that was obviously a big one too.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big part of this, like the presentations. But so one of the biggest announcements, and I was cannot speak, pleasantly surprised to see this one. I had no idea, but David Jonsson was announced as the new Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, I really love it. If you don't know David Jonsson, do yourself a favor and like literally watch anything with him in it. He's from the show Industry. He's not on it anymore, but he was a main character earlier. I think he's like since left the show.
And to quote the British, he's proper fit.
He's proper fit. And also like just fit in American as well. Like he is like, and I'll get into this more, but like he looks great. Like I think he'll make a very good Marvel superhero because I don't know if, okay, so I was going to also say that he is in The Long Walk, which is now become one of my favorite movies. I love that movie so much. His performance was just like so moving to me in that movie. And again, if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch it. It is so good. And he's just he and Cooper Hoffman are so good in it.
Yeah.
And he actually has like serious muscles in that movie randomly. And I'm like, oh, so he'll physically be really good for this role too.
He does in Industry as well. Like there's scenes where he just like has his shirt off and you're just like, it's like these British people who work in finance. So some of them are just like, you know,
yeah,
little
he's got
wispy.
his little nerd
and then you're
glasses.
just like, whoa. And I think that also like really, because I actually didn't really like him as an actor in Industry because I think his character he plays is just kind of like, not smarmy, but he just always makes these faces. And then
I remember you saying that,
yeah, in The Long Walk, where I was like, okay, this kid has range because I don't hate this guy.
Crazy accent, like in The Long Walk, but otherwise, I'm like, that is and I can tell he's a theater actor. Like, you know, some people are just like actors in a way that you're like, that's a theater actor.
He would be a really good person in like just a Shakespeare play.
Yeah, I'm curious. I can't remember what he's done, but I'm curious. But okay, but Black Panther is very, very good. And it's one of the few, sorry, I was just going to say quickly, like, the second one was fine, but I think, like, like, the second one was good. But, like, the first one just it was kind of a revelation, because, like, I feel like Marvel movies are good, but this one just felt different. Yeah. I mean, it's Ryan Coogler, and I feel like Ryan Coogler can do no wrong.
I was thinking about watching it the other day. I don't know why
you
I
should.
didn't.
I think you would like it.
I love Michael B. Jordan.
The whole cast is really good.
Okay.
Martin Freeman's in it.
Really?
Yeah, he's the whole cast is really good. Chadwick Boseman, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's
he was so good. And so David Jonsson is going to be playing T'Challa II, which T'Challa is Chadwick Boseman's character. He's Black Panther.
Okay.
So he'll be playing his son.
Oh, I like
that. But apparently Ryan Coogler said he chose him after watching The Long Walk. And his performance in that was like so good that apparently he called Kevin Feige, who's the president of Marvel, and after meeting with him, and he was just like, we have to have him. And so yeah, he'll be playing T'Challa's son, and then Letitia Wright, who she's from Black Panther, she plays his sister.
Okay.
A little confusing, because I will say I thought she was supposed to be the next Black Panther, so I do feel kind of like, I find that kind of interesting, and I wonder, because there's been like some photos of her like up on stage with David Jonsson, and she kind of not looks sad. I'm probably reading too much into it, but it's kind of like, oh, like I felt like she was supposed to be the next Black Panther, and maybe they just were like, no, but I mean, she'll be his aunt, I guess, but I was surprised, but I think he's just super deserving, because again, like, he's an amazing actor, but I also just feel like he's like physically right for the role.
I also hope this means like we get to see more like interviews and stuff with him, because I feel like I never see him in interviews, and I'm curious about his...
seems like a really quiet person.
Yeah, but he seems nice.
He seems really nice. Like, again, I'm so excited, because again, I love like The Long Walk so much, and I love him and Cooper Hoffman. He and Cooper Hoffman are so good in it, and they're apparently about to be in a movie again.
Oh, really?
Together, and I'm like...
Now, is Cooper Hoffman going to play a 54-year-old or a 15-year-old?
Right.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's anyone's game.
You'll never know.
Yeah.
Still gets me, because I think David Johnson's, like, in his 30s. Cooper Hoffman's, like, 23, which is crazy to me.
Wait, David Johnson's in his 30s? He has such a young look.
Let me fact check that one. No, he does. They are opposite ages to me.
I wish people would say that about me.
Well, he's 32.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh,
Props to him.
I just love his face so much. And he makes this one, like, smile. Like, he has such a kind smile. I gotta find it. Hang on.
He does. And the thing that I think is interesting
Look how happy he is.
He is.
He looked really overwhelmed on that stage, which I gotta say, I would be so scared to be an actor.
His life is about to change.
I know, because he is, like, known, but I feel like his life is about to change. Which, deservingly so. I know people kind of say, like, I hate when actors get sort of in the... Like, I felt this way a little bit about Florence Pugh, where, like, you kind of get in, like, the Marvel...
Yeah.
Not rut, but, like, you get just, like, stuck in the Marvel... Cycle or whatever, and especially to, like, really good actors. But at the same time, I'm like, well, we should have really good actors in Marvel movies, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's what makes them what they are.
And here's the thing. I think they're, like, even when we talk about Doomsday, I think it has really good actors in it. It has to have the really good, like, writing as well to match.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, like, I think it's gone... Again, I haven't watched enough to, like, say this from my perspective, but just, like, hearing people talk about it and, like, just, like, their perspectives, it seems like that's where it's kind of strayed, is, like, we are not putting the effort into, like, the actual story. Because you can have actors who are phenomenal, but if they don't have, like, the material to work with, like, they can only do but so much, you know?
Yeah.
And vice versa.
True.
You can have fantastic material and subpar actors, so...
But my argument to that is I think we sometimes don't realize actors are bad until we see them in something else, because when they're in, like, good material or when they're given good material, you kind of are almost like, oh, it's the writing that's good, and you realize later, like, their acting is actually not that good.
Yeah, that's true.
Something I care about less, but it was, like, a huge announcement, was Ryan Gosling was announced to be Ghost Rider. Which I didn't really know what Ghost Rider was. I forgot I was talking to somebody at work today. I forgot that that was the Nicolas Cage movie.
I was going to say, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they were terrible. Like, they have, like, 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. They're, like, awful movies.
That is crazy that I have seen, like, hardly any Marvel movies in my life.
But you've seen Ghost Rider?
For some reason. I don't know why.
There's also another one that you've seen that I was like, what? It was like...
Was it Spider-Man?
Oh, no. Was it Aquaman? It was, like, something really random where you said that you and your... Oh, no, it just came to me. Hang on. It was, like, your mom really liked... Oh, was it Wolverine?
Oh, yeah, I've seen Wolverine, but not, like...
That's crazy.
My mom didn't really like it. Someone gave it to us, like, in... You know how you would get, like, a gift basket, and it would have, like, a DVD and, like, popcorn, and be like, this is a movie night in, like, 2010 or whatever it was, because people still, like, use DVDs. Okay. So, like, it was just like, well, we have this DVD, and our Netflix movie is still being shipped through the mail, so it won't be here till Friday.
Right.
So might as well watch this.
Yeah.
Now that's a throwback. That made me feel
I know.
old.
I'm like, I'm still waiting on, like, season 4 of Lost in the mail. Like,
yeah.
That's
we
crazy.
have our DVD collection, which is Netflix movies we never mailed
Yes.
back.
Or remember Redbox?
Yes.
There was something special about Redbox. Like, being with a friend, like, you're having a sleepover, you go to 7-Eleven, you're picking up some slushies, some snacks, and then you stop by the Redbox outside and you get a little horror movie. But go home, like, but Matthew and I own a bunch of Redbox, like, DVDs that we didn't.
The stress of you had to return it, like, the next day, and it was like, I would always do it when I was in college, and it would be like, my freshman year, I don't have a car, so it'd be like, I need to now ask someone to drive me back to the Farm Fresh or whatever.
You know what's crazy? Like, how old are we? Because, like, I feel like that wasn't that long ago, yet I just said that, like, Matthew and I rented stuff from Redbox, and that seems so long. It seems, like, more, like, Blockbuster-y. Yeah. Redbox was popular for, like, maybe a year. I think that was a very short-lived.
It was so... I remember when people were like, Redbox, like, was... And I think there still is Redbox. I think it was,
like,
middle
I've seen
school
it through high school. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
You've seen superhero movies that, like, I have not seen, which is interesting.
Like Wolverine and...
Yeah, I've never seen Ghost Rider.
I mean, I haven't seen Ghost Rider in, like, 20 years, to be fair.
I know, but I've never seen those.
I don't think my parents knew it was, like, a superhero movie when they put it on. They were just like, oh.
Because back then they weren't part of, like, any kind of... They just,
universe.
Like, were a movie. It's kind of like, as a kid, I watched, like, Daredevil with Ben Affleck. As a kid... Scariest movie. That movie traumatized me for some reason. He goes blind. It makes me sad. Anyway, I thought this was interesting. So Ghost Rider is gonna come out in 2028. Apparently, people, like, really wanted Ryan Gosling to play him. So, like, when he appeared on stage, people were like, "What?"
I could see that after seeing him in, like, Drive and stuff, I'm like, okay, yeah, put him on a motorcycle, light his head on fire, and, like, let's see where it goes.
That's what it's about. Like, that's crazy. But I thought this was interesting because, like, people are excited, but then there's also a mix of people who are like, wow, is Ryan Gosling, like, the new Ryan Reynolds? Because people were pointing out that, like, gone are the days of Ryan Gosling being in, like, small indie movies, which at first when people were saying that, I was like, well, what small indie movies was he even in? But then I was like, he wasn't, like, Lars and the Real Girl,
Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines, Blue Valentine.
Yeah.
Which is a very sad movie. Because at first I was like, are you talking about La La Land? But I forgot he used to be in, like, interesting movies.
And here's the thing.
Which I love La La Land. Yeah. I'm not knocking it, but it's not, like, a small movie.
And here's the thing. I think he actually is better in those movies than, like, I obviously enjoyed him in, like, Barbie or La La Land. But I think his, like, roles are better when he's in, like, well, even, like, Lars and the Real Girl, it's not, like, a serious role, but it's, like, more interesting.
But it's, like, indie. It's, like,
yeah, it's more artistically, like, I think, in depth.
Yeah.
And I think, like, he is truly, like, an artist as an actor, whereas when he does things where it's, like, again, Barbie he was good in, La La Land he was good in, but I don't think it's, like, as good as his, like,
Barbie
roots.
He was fine in. I remember getting so mad when he was nominated for an Oscar, though, because I was just like, he's just being Ryan Gosling. Like, I don't feel like this is that, like, special. I just think he almost I'm not saying he's Ryan Reynolds, but I do think he has sort of become more of a, like, he's been a movie star, but I feel like with Project Hail Mary, I'm like, that's just not my thing. Like, I just don't think that's funny. I don't think, and I feel like Ghost Rider will maybe be similar. I don't know if Ghost Rider's humorous, but I just feel like it'll be similar.
Yeah. I don't
know. I do miss when he was in those kind of movies, because that's why, like, recently I texted you and I was like, I would love to see him in a horror movie. Yeah, or sorry, not a horror movie, but I would love to see him in, like, a villain role. And then I looked it up and he was in one, and I ended up watching it and I liked it. Yeah. But, like, I would love to see him in stuff like that again.
And I think he, like, I did like Project Hail Mary, but I think he also has this, like, he started to have this look about him of, like, a guy who used to be very hot and is, like, aging and trying to, like, you know, like, you see, like, a guy who's, like, and this is not him, but, like, a guy who's, like, middle-aged and wears, like, tight jeans and, like, still dresses like he's in a boy band type of thing. Whereas when I see him, when they style him for, like, roles and stuff, I'm like, okay, he's looking good. And then when I see him in interviews and stuff, I'm like, where maybe he styled himself or whatever, I'm like, I think he's holding on to something that I just need him to let go of, because he still is, he's very attractive. I think he's very charming, but I think he is maybe, like, I don't know, holding on to that a little too much.
Yeah, I agree. I think also, well, and then somebody argued that he apparently said he doesn't want to do, like, that heavy stuff anymore, which is fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but good for Ryan Gosling. I don't really care about Ghost Rider, though, so I don't know if I'll be seeing that.
Yeah, I like Nicolas. I'm a Nicolas Cage truther. No, I'm just kidding. Only him.
I've seen his grave, so.
Oh yeah, that's right. His mausoleum.
And then,
to be clear, she went to New Orleans. She's not like a freak.
Yeah.
She's like,
it's wild that you can that people are touring your mausoleum, though. Like, people are touring your death site. Like, that's wild.
That actually sounds like something I would love.
I know, personally. But that feels personal. Like, I just wouldn't want, like, a tour group. But that's what you get for that. Whatever. He had control over that, so I don't know why I'm, like, saying.
Such a weirdo.
He is a crazy person.
Yeah.
I think wonderful actor, though. I actually really do appreciate his acting.
But talk about a man who's, like, really wearing, like, middle-aged man. Like, I'm wearing a Flame t-shirt and leather pants, and I'm, like, 60-something years old.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Ryan Reynolds, so he showed up at the Doomsday presentation dressed as, I guess, Gray X-Force Deadpool. Again, Deadpool is not my thing either, but he was, like, a surprise reveal, and he was doing his, like, typical thing and, like, jokes with the cast, and I was just like, okay, like, I didn't. But so with Doomsday, and he was, like, I don't know if I said this, but it was, like, during the Doomsday presentation. So Doomsday, there was an interview with some of the cast, and Chris Evans was talking about how he had been approached to come back as, it's called Nomad Steve Rogers, which is, like, what he's going to be in this new movie. It's like post. Okay, it's hard to explain I don't feel like going into the whole thing, but, like, basically at the end of Endgame, he ended up, like, going to a different, like, timeline where he's just, like, able to be with, like, Peggy, which was, like, his girlfriend. And he's just, like, not Captain America anymore. He handed that over to Anthony Mackie's character, Sam Wilson. He was like Red Wing, but now he's the new Captain America, as we know, because he came out with that Captain America movie, didn't do very well. And so I actually kind of liked it. I didn't hate it, but most people didn't like it, and I respect that. But anyway, so I think a lot of people are kind of feeling like bad for Anthony Mackie a little bit, because it was like he was promised to be like the new Captain America, and now it's like Chris Evans like coming back, and he's not coming back as Captain America, but it is sort of still, it's like, okay, just can we not just like let Anthony Mackie be Captain America? I don't know, but I thought it was interesting because in an interview, Chris Evans was talking about how he was earlier like offered to come back as Nomad Steve Rogers, and he said at the time it didn't feel right, but now it does for this movie. And I think everyone was just like, okay, so they just offered you more money. Yeah. Money. Got it. So it's just interesting. I'm curious how they'll do that, but I do feel like Anthony Mackie was kind of failed a little bit, and I feel bad for him. I feel like he was sort of set up for failure with that.
Yeah, I could see that. I also find it strange that I'm just like, Chris Evans, maybe you should just like do something else. Like,
no, I feel that way too.
Your character, I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he died. Whatever.
So he didn't die. He like went to a different timeline.
God, Marvel is
I know.
ridiculous.
And that's ever since they've like opened up the whole like the alternate universe, like all the different like timelines. I'm like, now it's hard to take it seriously, because it just feels like I'm a little like, I'm excited for the next Spider-Man, but it also stresses me out because I'm just like, well, now it's like no one knows who Peter is, and that just feels weird to me. I don't know.
Also, here's a hot take: is I just like, because I think like Doctor Who like did something similar where they were, because he travels through time.
Right, but he's a time traveler,
right? But then it would be like this whole thing of like, again, like almost like a multiverse within Doctor Who, where it's like on this timeline he's like with this person, and like this character is able to come back because like they came through this timeline, and they kept like playing that up more and more, and I'd be like, actually, I don't care about this. Like this overarching plot of like whatever this is, it's too much, and it makes what is like the saying, like a x like when something's unbelievable to like wrap up a story, it means like the hand of God in Latin. It's like Dios, or no, that's Spanish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like, I feel like it opens up too many easy wrap ups where they could be like, they're not actually thinking like realistically, like, oh, how do I fix this plot hole? I have to like actually think hard. They could just be like, well, he's in another timeline. I know, exactly. And then I'm thinking like, okay, well, why doesn't someone come in and be like, okay, well, let's go to a different time. You know what I mean? Well, this is how it works. But I just think like, it feels like then all of the problems could just be solved if like Doctor Strange isn't in Doomsday. And I'm like, well, why not? He can just come and like fix it, whatever. Right. But I was going to say two things to that. It is wild to me that there's people out there who have watched Doctor Who this entire time, and I find that so interesting that they're still watching Doctor Who. Yeah. I'm like, how do we even like keep up? No shade to them. That's wonderful if they love it, but I'm just like, that seems exhausting. Did you ever watch Big Bang Theory? This just reminded me. Okay, so they've had like all these like spin-off shows, like Young Sheldon. Oh, now there's I saw this. Stuart, Mork and Mindy, or whatever. What is it called? It's like Mindy and George and Mindy, or something like that. And then there's now another spin-off show where it's like about like a Stuart Saves the World or something. And it looks ridiculous. And he was like the guy who owned like the comic shop where it's just like, and I've seen theories where it's like supposedly so-and-so, I don't know these characters, but they're like maybe writing a comic, and maybe it's Stuart writing a comic, and I'm like, what is the tone of this show like as a whole? Because you've got Young Sheldon, which is kind of a drama, and I think people George loved it, which is strange. It has a fan base, and then George and Mindy, or whatever it's called, is like a 3-camera sitcom or something. Yeah. And it's like, what is the tone? And this show is like, it is strange. Wild. Young Sheldon, I don't think has like a laugh track or anything, but obviously no, it's like Bang a drama. I think. Yeah, it's actually like bewildering to me. And like I watched Big Bang Theory because it was like I watched it with my parents, but then like when I watch it back, like I stopped as soon as I wasn't with my parents. I did not think that show was funny. And you know what? I will be interested on like either the documentary or like a biopic or whatever of Chuck Lorre and just all the insane shows that he created from like 2002 to 2013 or whatever. Because, you know, he did 2.5 Men. Okay, see, these are not shows. Two Broke Girls, Big Bang Theory. He did so many of them. I love them, but it's never been my thing. That's so, like, 2.5 Men is so not my humor. No, and I think about how my parents, like, we watched that when I was growing up, and I'm like, I watch it back, I see clips from, like, this was so inappropriate. It reminds me of my grandpa Phaser. He used to love it. Like, he used to watch it
all the time. I don't know. That's been very perplexing to me, is the whole Big Bang Theory. Great theme song, though.
Yeah, it does have a great theme song.
Our whole universe was in a hot dance.
And it's like, again, like Chuck Lorre did all of these, and he did, there's so many more that I am, he did Mom, he did Dharma and Greg, he came out with the show Bob Hart's Abby Shola, which people really liked for some reason.
Never heard of that.
Like
I'm just not aware of these shows. Like, they don't cross my... They're just not on my radar, like these kind of shows, which is great. Yeah. Like, I just would never...
You don't need them on your radar.
No, but it's wild to me that there's, like... Just the Big Bang Theory universe is just wild to me. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get the tone. What is it going for? Whatever.
Yeah.
But I was going to quickly say, so... I'll just, like, end it with... I thought this was interesting. So, Kevin Feige, again, he's the president of Marvel... Mm-hmm. Why am I feeling like I'm pronouncing his name wrong? It's like when you read a name, you've heard a name, you've read a name 1,000 times, but then when you say it out loud, you're like, am I saying that right?
It's like with the word quinoa for me. I can't see it.
Well, that's a notably complex word, so that makes sense. But
well, thank you. I always feel stupid when
quinoa?
I go to order.
Yeah, most people, there's a whole, that's the whole bit of, like, you're turning into your parents, that, like, Geico commercial.
Oh, okay. Blue. Her hair is
like,
blue.
Yeah. Well, they're like, the Keanu. Like, no one can pronounce quinoa. Anyway. But anyway, Kevin Feige said that no Marvel films will be released between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, which is going to be, like, the next Avengers movie after this.
They need to stop.
But he said in order to focus on quality, which I think is interesting, because that hasn't happened. I feel like there have been, like, lately it's just like they're pumping stuff out, and he said that there's not going to be any movies in between then in between those two to focus on quality.
Shout
and he
out
said,
to him.
When quantity is so much you get spread thin, we didn't want to be spread thin.
And I think that's the right move. As someone who isn't even in the Marvel universe, but, like, you know, it's heard about it from you and others, I'm like, I think that's accurate. Like, you're just pumping out content because it's hot, and you're not actually making something lasting and artistic.
I've got to say, I think I'm even still hesitant about Doomsday. Like, it looks, like I said, it kind of looks like slop to me, but
that's what everyone's
been saying. We're still gonna watch it, so.
And I think, were we talking about this after the podcast, where people are saying you can watch it and you can tell, like, these actors are not in the same room as each other. They are not. Like, the type of, like, again, you look at something like The Odyssey with Christopher Nolan, all of those practical effects, that film looks phenomenal. Yeah. And now we've gotten to this point where it's like, if you are doing CGI
they're all just in front of a blue screen the whole time.
Like, their whole costumes are CGI.
Yeah.
And it's like, people aren't going to enjoy that type of movie. Like, you have to put the quality in.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I don't know. I thought those were interesting, though. I think the thing I'm most excited about of everything is David Jonsson being the new Black Panther. Probably not going to come out for a few years, though, but love him.
Yeah. So, I'm excited for his career trajectory.
Yes.
Excited for the new Spider-Man, too. I will be seeing that.
We will. Yeah.
Yeah. Aww. Hopefully we should see it together.
We should.
Yeah, unless you have plans with other people who like it, but I don't know anyone else who watches it, so it would have to be.
I know my parents like it. Dave and Cindy, if you're listening, let me know what your plans are. But either way, we should. Oh, wait, they just actually started watching it. They just watched the first movie for the first time, like, the other day.
Oh, perfect.
But anyway, so we'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
well,
on to something a little less, well, not less quality, but just,
like, interesting.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Surprised. So we're talking about the movie 72 Hours. It just came out on Netflix on like Thursday or something.
Past weekend, yeah.
When I saw that you put it on the notes, I was surprised. I was like, I wonder, like, what drew you to watch this?
So I'm going to explain.
Okay.
My thought process here. Okay, so if you haven't seen it, it's a new comedy movie on Netflix, like Alexis said. It stars Kevin Hart, Marcelo Hernandez, Ben Marshall, Cam Patterson, Mason Gooding, Tiana Taylor, Michael Mando, and Zach Cherry. Mm-hmm. And, okay, so Marcelo Hernandez, Ben Marshall, and Cam Patterson are all from SNL, which is actually, like, why I wanted to watch this movie, I'm going to be honest. Like, that's a huge draw for me. It's pretty much the only draw for me because, and we had this conversation a little bit earlier, just between us, but I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Kevin Hart fan. I liked his stand-up when he kind of first started out when I was, like, high school age.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's funny anymore. And I also think, I actually remember the exact stand-up where I realized, I'm like, oh, he's lost his aura a little bit. Or he has too much. Or, like, he became, like, so famous that he was, like, I could tell it was, like, it doesn't matter how funny he is because, like, it was just, his only bits were just making fun of celebrities in the crowd. And I'm like, oh, you're just so famous now, you don't need to be funny.
Right.
And I feel like he's also kind of got this arrogance about him now. And I also can't get over that thing. I'm going to come back to this later, but that Cat Williams said about him being an industry plant. And I'm like, wait, is he?
Interesting.
So,
I've heard that.
And I'll come back to that because they do reference that in that movie. But 72 Hours is about a 40-year-old high-power executive who works at an advertising firm, and he's about to be made chief creative officer. But he's working on this campaign for this vodka, and they feel like his campaign is like too cringe.
Yeah.
And it's not going to connect with Gen Z audiences. And so meanwhile, he's mistakenly added to this group chat for a bachelor party trip to Miami. And so he decides to crash it so he can do like market research and kind of help his campaign.
Right.
And so he offers to the guys that he'll pay for the Airbnb if they let him come. And they're obviously like, yeah, but the vibes are kind of weird because they're like, why are you here? Mm-hmm. And so that's sort of the plot of the movie. And then they get into like some craziness. And then Marcelo Hernandez's character is like, especially like, why are you here, dog? Like he's the man, he's the guy that's like planning the trip.
Best man.
The best man. Yeah. And so he's sort of got his own thing going on. He basically doesn't want the groom to get married and sort of wants to stay in old times. So you've got like all of that going on. But it's just interesting because the whole thing is like Kevin Hart is trying to he's like doing this like market research on his vodka basically, and that's why he's like crashing the trip. And so he's trying to get like videos of them and trying to fit into this like group. But it's interesting because he's supposed to be this 40-year-old. They like make up, I think they say he's 40.
Yeah.
But Kevin Hart's 47 in real life.
I literally, when he said that, like right before he said that, I turned to Chris and I said, isn't this man in his 50s?
He literally is almost 50. That's almost 10 years older than his character. I'm like, why not just make him 47?
I'll be honest, he does look 47.
I know. I was thinking that. And I don't know. I just felt like 40 seemed too young for this situation. I don't know if it's because he was with Tiana Taylor that they made him like age down. So he's also dating Tiana Taylor's character, and so she's obviously like very like beautiful, very like she's this. I think she's a doctor. I can't remember her. She's
a doctor that's like desperate for him to commit for some reason.
Right, and so that's happening, and so they find the whole movie is like they find themselves in all these like crazy situations. They basically get caught up in this like Miami drug world because Kevin Hart's character gets mistaken for a rival drug lord.
Yeah.
And Michael Mando plays this like rival drug lord who's after him the whole time. And he was actually my favorite performance. I thought he was very good despite the terrible script. He's actually very believable, and I felt like he was kind of giving it his all. And I really like him. But anyway, if anything kind of gives you like an idea of the type of humor this movie was, at one point they get like on this boat.
I knew it.
And they open the thing. They're trying to figure out like what's happening. And they like open this thing and they just find that it's like whale penises.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like the boat is like smuggling whale penises, or this crew is. And it's just like, it's supposed to be this big like reveal. And I was like, that is not funny. Like, that's just like so.
And that's boy humor to me. Where
exactly.
Boys are like the only people who think that dicks are funny.
Right.
Like, and because at one point it's like Kevin Hart gets like, electrocuted or whatever. I don't know what happens when a jellyfish stings you. And they're like, you have to put like, the whale has healing properties, the whale dick. So he basically has to like take the head of the whale dick, and it's like he's putting like whale semen on his face, which does nothing to help him. Yeah. And I'm just like, if this is supposed to be funny, like, I'm not laughing.
Right.
Like this is distinctly boy humor, like unchecked.
Right. And the whole thing, it just felt like it was just basically like a Gen Z hangover, but it only made me want to watch The Hangover more. Yes. And I was like, it just made me appreciate The Hangover even more than I already do. But I was just like, this is just so far from.
And here's what I'm going to say. And I know everyone says this about every generation, like below them or whatever, where they're just like, they don't do it as well as we did or whatever. But I think like it's interesting where this whole movie is supposed to be about like Gen Z people. All the songs at the clubs, everything, like, all the music, like, they're playing Gasolina, they're playing, like, you know what I mean? And they played, like, maybe
they're
one,
playing
like,
Usher.
They're playing Usher. They played, like, one, like, Gen Z, like, Victory Lap came on, which I do listen to, I really like, but, like, and that just made me think, and again, like, I'm like, well,
I did think I was like, the song budget on this was crazy.
Yeah. Yes, it was. And also, I just was like, okay, so this is, like you said, Gen Z Hangover, but not as good, where it's like, I think they were trying too hard to be funny. They're taking a regurgitated idea, And I will say there were parts of it that I did laugh at, but it was like the one-liners is what really like would make me laugh. Like when like this character named Freshman, he like reads like he's like an idiot, but he read like Japanese and he's like, I'm a polyglot.
I was actually gonna say I think the funniest person in that movie was Cam Patterson's character. He played Freshman. I think because I love Ben Marshall. Like I really like him.
Yeah.
But even I just don't think that was his humor necessarily.
Is he the redhead?
Yeah. He's the one from, what's that group? Please don't destroy. I don't know why I just forgot that for a second.
See, but I thought he was the second funniest one.
He was funny, but I also was, the whole time I was like Marcelo Hernandez, I could kind of see his humor, like, aligning with Kevin Hart's a little bit. Yeah. And, like, if you've seen them I've kind of seen, like, some press, like, interviews for this movie, and the two of them are very, like, jokey with each other, and their humor clearly like is similar, but I just felt like, I don't know, for some reason I just was like, nah, I don't know, I just did not, I don't think I laughed once at this movie.
I don't know what it is about this is maybe like the third movie I think I've seen that's a comedy that has to do with a marketing professional not understanding the audience that they're marketing to, and therefore like, because the other one was...
Which in its own feels so out of touch.
Yes.
Which is ironic. Like, that is what the whole plot is, but it felt still, like, out of touch.
Like, as people who work in marketing, I'm like, this is not, like, what would happen. Like, this is... You would not... Like, even the ad that he presented that was, like, so out of touch, I was like, this is... You would have to be stupid.
Right.
To present this ad. Like, it just feels so unbelievable. And I think about, like, this versus The Hangover, right? Like, that's the most obvious comparison, I think. I think about, like, what made that funny. One, it was very fresh. But two, I'm like, the characters feel more believable in a way. Except for, like, what's his name? Not Stewie. Is it Stewie?
Which one?
Zach Galifianakis' character?
Alan.
Alan, who is, like, a ridiculous character, but something about him still feels, like, believable in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas all of these people, I'm like, they would not exist in this world.
I think something about The Hangover too, and I was going to say this later, but something about The Hangover is that there's also like a dark humor to it.
Yeah.
Like there's something kind of, I don't know, just like there's almost something, it's not like drama, but there's just like a darkness to it that I feel like just really, it just elevates it a little bit. That I think with this movie, it was just full stupid. Like,
yes. It's full stupid. I don't like a situational humor, like, again, like a whale dick, or like, oh, now we're fighting and I'm falling off of the thing.
Yeah.
And I was also, because again, I watched, like, White Chicks and, like, whatever. Whereas I think, like, when I think about, like, we haven't had, like, a really great comedy recently, except for I really liked One of Them Days. That was fantastic.
But that wasn't even, like, I mean, I think most people who saw it liked it, but it didn't, like, blow up. Like, we haven't, it's true that I feel like we haven't had just, like, a good comedy in a while.
And I think part of it is, I think people are afraid to take risks with the comedy, you know? Because, like, there are... And I'm not, like, saying you have to be offensive to be funny, but you have to, like, take some sort of a risk to say something, because the funniest things that people are going to find funny, there's truth in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, like, again, rubbing whale semen on your face is not... What truth is there in that, right. You know?
And I think even to... Like, I almost feel like the most recent thing I can remember that was a big comedy that everyone found funny was Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Because that came out more recently than The Hangover.
Right.
And I think back to that, and I mean, there's like a whole like scene, the toilet, like that has toilet humor, but even that I don't see as toilet humor almost.
Right. And it's like one scene.
Yeah.
Whereas like...
And it's just so ridiculous. I don't know. But I truly can't. I think like Rachel Sennett and like what, like, I feel like Bottoms, like you've got like Bottoms and that kind of, but I don't really think that one's funny. I don't find Rachel Sennett very funny. So I'm trying to think of like something that is like has come out that's a comedy that everyone found to be funny or that is like blown up, and I just can't think of any. Like you think of like SNL people, I feel like there hasn't been an SNL person in a while that's like starred in a comedy movie, but then you've got like, you know, you had like Kristen Wiig or like you know.
Yeah.
Other
I think
people.
there's been a lot of shows that are funny.
We have shows, but not like comedy movies. You think back to
Right.
like the early 2000s or the mid 2000s had like banger comedy movies.
And again, here's my theory, is I think it comes back down to budgeting. So, like, when Chris and I watched Rat Race the other day, he loves a Wikipedia page. He pulled it up. First of all, he was like, came out 3 weeks before 9/11, crazy. But also at that time, like, Rush Hour 2 was in theaters, and there was another, like, it was like Scary Movie, like the first one, or something like that was also in theaters at the same time. He's like 3 comedies in theaters at one time. When was the last time we saw that?
Yeah.
And it's because these comedies are coming out on like Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, where they're not like, again, and I'm not saying like those are lesser movies, but it's just like not taking the time to like budget and like accurately create something that is comedic effect. Like, if you think about even like a 1-to-1 of this movie of The Hangover, I would say Ben Marshall's character and oh my god, what is his name? The dentist who loses his teeth. Stu in The Hangover are like very clearly like related to each other in terms of characters. And when you think of like what made Stu funny versus like what didn't make Ben Marshall's character funny, is it's like the unexpectedness of it, and like again the willingness to like kind of make it a little bit, and it's not raunchy. Here's what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
But it's like dark.
Well, they also make it very clear, like with Ben Marshall's character, they're immediately like, he got broken up with, and now he's sad, and like they're so like, it's very exposition. Whereas like Stu, what's like great is like you see the girlfriend, you see like what kind of situation he's in, and she's like a total like just bitch, and not like, and like I don't know, the setup, just the character explanation. I feel like this movie just felt like Netflix slop to me.
Right.
Even just like there was a shot of the whole Airbnb like panning out, and I was just like, ugh, this movie's so ugly.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
And also like I think I'm tired of seeing both in like romantic comedies but also comedies in general where it's like these people have a strange amount of wealth for what they do. Like this guy works at a marketing firm. He's not even like, he's trying to be COO. He's renting this massive house in Miami.
I was like, he's not even COO. Like, and how is he? Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to charter a yacht for us or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, with what? Where is this money coming from? Whereas I'm like, I think about like the early 2000s, mid 2000s movies where like, again, not to go back to The Hangover, but like you think about it, you're like, you have a teacher and a dentist and I don't know, whatever Alan is, you know, where they are getting into situations that it's like, they don't have the money to get out of this, and they aren't like, they're just, you know.
Well, and also with this movie, it was like Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart, and so like there's like a lot of references to him being Kevin Hart in this movie. So there's like a scene where, and I don't know if you like if you were like aware of this, but like there's a scene with like he's talking to Tiana Taylor, and he mentions like how old he is, or he says something about like they think I'm old or whatever, and she just goes, damn. And she's like, I'm sorry. And like that's like a direct reference to an interview he did with Don Cheadle where he was like, Don Cheadle was talking about, he mentioned his age, and Kevin Hart like interrupts him. He just goes, damn. And then like it's a very funny like clip, like where Don Cheadle just like stares at him. He just like stops and looks at him, and Kevin Hart goes, I'm sorry. And like it's like it is funny, but they like reference that in the movie. And then there's of course like, so he has like a feud with Cat Williams in real life, like, or he has had a feud with him. And there's like a whole like not dream sequence, but I think he's like
a fight
tripping.
Sequence.
Yeah, it's like a fight sequence where like they like acknowledge their feud, and I'm like, okay, so this is just like,
one of them goes, isn't that Cat Williams?
Yeah, and I mean this is just like direct, like, okay, so this movie is Kevin Hart is the main character. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's.
And it's just like so many rehashings of, again, The Hangover. Then when he gets like stung by the jellyfish, I was like, okay, well, this is Hitch.
Yeah.
Which, like, when he has like that and he has to drink all the Benadryl or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like,
is he in Hitch?
No, I'm saying like Will Smith and Hitch. So like they're like pulling from The Hangover. They're pulling. I'm like, that was a funny scene in Hitch from 2005.
Yeah. So they're just fully. Copying.
Which and there's other things too where I was like, okay, this is very much like this other movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Where I think like, especially with a comedy, also sometimes you can tell when people are like having a good time making it. And you could tell like this is we're in a comedy with Kevin Hart type of movie.
Yeah.
And I just like again, there were a couple of lines here and there that made me laugh. And there were also certain things where I was like, I know I'm not technically Gen Z, but when he was trying to, like, he's like, okay, so, like, Gen Z, like, they have this memory book that they've, like, put together. Like, they were playing up, like, when they were like, okay, let's do an emotional check-in before we go out or whatever, because they're trying to be like, this is how Gen Z acts or whatever. I'm like, nobody's acting like that.
Yeah. The only part where I was like, that's kind of funny to put that in is, like, the Zen scene.
Yeah.
But I just... I found myself, like, not paying attention the last half of the movie. It was just, like, I was like, I don't care how this ends.
Well, even, like, there's this B plot that happens where it's, like, they accidentally steal all this cocaine from, like, which I guess becomes the main plot.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that till, like, a third of the way through, and, like, it would pop up, there'd be, like, these, you know, like, coke lords or whatever, and Chris and I would go, oh, that's right, I forgot that this plot was also happening on the side.
Yeah.
Of them doing all of these, like, XYZ things. And it's just...
Wait, so I'm curious, when downstairs when you were telling Chris and you were like, Molly didn't like it. Like, did you guys like it?
I thought Chris liked it maybe more than he was letting on.
Okay.
Because he did laugh a lot, but I don't think...
Really?
I think he would... But I don't think he would be like, I would... Like, here's the thing. I didn't hate it. Like, there were some things that I laughed at, but it's not... I wouldn't be like, that was so funny and I'm going to recommend it to someone. Do you know what I mean?
I did not laugh once at that
really?
movie. Yeah.
I'm surprised you finished it to the end then.
That's what I mean. I was, like, not paying attention the last, like, half of the movie. It just was not funny to me. But, I mean, I don't know why. I think I just thought... I was like, oh, I like some of the people in it. I knew... Like, I don't think Kevin Hart is funny anymore, so I knew I wasn't going to find that funny.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think it was going to, like, exceed my expectations. I came in with low expectations, and I left with low expectations. So that's always good.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't expecting more, but I was just kind of like, I'll give it a watch.
Yeah.
It's here. And I really like Marcelo Hernandez. I love Ben Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like you said, it was very much like we were watching, like, this is a Kevin Hart comedy.
Yeah. And again, like, the things that made me laugh were just, like, it's, like, the one-liners every now and then. Like, when the girl puts her, like, she's, like, trying to, like, sleep with Kevin Hart, and she's like, I'm already wearing a condom. And he's like, what? Or whatever. Like,
yeah, that was, okay. See, that part, I was like, so there's, like, another plot where this bachelorette party is, like, they're crazy, and
right.
they're, like, really, they're actually, like, kind of bad as well. And there's this one character who, she had this weird, like, southern accent,
yes.
and I could tell that they were trying to make her, like, the Melissa McCarthy of the movie, and I was just like, it's not, she's not funny, I don't know.
I turned to Chris, I said, nobody has that accent.
I know, I was like, what is that voice?
Like, it was so strange. And there's also, again, this weird thing where they create, like, a memory book, where it's, like, basically a scrapbook, and, like, Kevin Hart is like, okay, so, like, Gen Z, they don't want to post on social media, like, but they want to create a scrapbook, blah, blah. I don't know any, like, man, boy, whatever, who is out here creating a scrapbook with their friends.
I was thinking that, too, actually.
I was like, in what world? I was like, this is, again, like, a movie, like, he is a marketing person trying to get the voice of Gen Z, and you can tell that the people writing the movie also are trying to figure out the voice of Gen Z. Do you know what I mean?
Also, here's the real, like, plot hole with that, is he would not have alone created that campaign. There would have been probably younger people working on it for him, and wouldn't they have been the ones doing it? Like, I don't know, I just thought it was goofy. And
he starts his own marketing company and, like, steals the business from the main company. It's been 3 weeks. Like, Chris at one point said it's been 3 weeks. Also, he gets invited to this wedding, and Chris and I were like, I was like, if you in 3 weeks before our wedding was like, I'm gonna add this guy who went on my bachelor party, I'd be like, sorry, too bad.
Also, the whole tone was confusing, because I was like, are they happy because I almost think they should have, like, picked a lane, like, they should have been like, yo, like, this guy, this old, like, because a part of me, I think, like, young people would find that funny, that, like, a random guy gets, like, added to the group chat, and then they show up, and they're paying for the Airbnb. I feel like they would be almost, like, more open, but then they kept kind of going back and forth with it, where the group would be like, why are you here? Like, you're weird. I don't know. I just felt like it was a weird tone. Like, I wasn't quite sure. Like, they were both, like, wanting him there, but then also not wanting him there.
Right. And Kevin Hart's character, like, again, he's a 47-year-old playing a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
And he looks 52.
Right.
And he's having this whole thing where he's like, I don't know if I want to, like, get married to my girlfriend, like, we're too young for that, like, whatever. And it's like, I get why it's supposed to be funny, because he's clearly, like, old, but it's not funny because you're like, well, you're kind of pathetic for doing, and it's supposed to be like this whole, like, moral thing of, like, getting married is actually great. Also, that wedding looked lame as fuck. They were not dancing on that dance floor at all.
I don't even remember the ending at all.
It's nothing. It's not worth it. Like, I just think, and it's kind of like when I was saying I watched that J-Lo movie where I was like, there are certain things where I'm like, this has certain ingredients where it could have been funny and good, but it's just mixed in with too many of the wrong things.
See, I almost feel like they did immediately were at a disadvantage because it's like the plot is a bachelor party, and I'm like, well, there's clearly already a movie that did this way better, and you're not gonna reach that plot. Right. Why would you even do that? You know?
Right. And again, like, there were, like, subtle things that I found funny. I did laugh when he bent over to pack his suitcase and his knees cracked like a water bottle. Yeah. I was like, that's it. But like, there should be more than that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't think I laughed once.
And I really want to see, like, the state of comedies go up, like how we've seen with, like, horror movies, or, like, I think we're on an up and up spectrum with, like romantic comedies or that sort of thing, where it's like, you've got to put in the investment and people will love it.
Yeah, I just think we're never going to get there if it's just straight and some of these are for people. I'm sure there's people out there who thought this movie was funny or like really funny. But I think if we're going to try to get somewhere again with like a smart comedy, you know what? There's one coming out with Olivia Wilde and Seth Rogen. And I feel like that will probably do pretty well. I think that's a comedy. I don't even know if it's a drama at all.
But that's what also I was going to say is I'm like, you have to like, if you want something to go down as again, The Hangover, like a fantastic comedy, commit to it being a comedy. I feel like a lot of times, like, what we're seeing now is, like, again, these studios, they don't want to invest in something that they're not going to get the return on investment. So they're like, this is a dramedy. Yeah. This is a romantic comedy. This is a horror comedy. This is, and it's like, just do a comedy and, like, stick to your guns.
It's hard, though. It's got to have the right, like, recipe.
It does. And you have to, like, it has to have that is, I think, like, acting is obviously very important, like, movies and stuff and writing as well. I think they go hand in hand. But I think in comedy, sometimes it is the writing, like, you have to have the writing be solid first before the acting can, like, really bring it out.
Yeah.
So anyways, see it or don't, we don't care. Just kidding.
So with that, Okay, so our question of the week, speaking of comedies that have the right recipes, our question of the week was, what do you think is the greatest comedy movie of all time? Do you want to go first, or do you want to hear our answers?
Well, I think you guys know, like, from my answer, I think The Hangover by far.
Yeah.
And we were talking downstairs where I'm like, comedy is interesting where sometimes it can have, like, it can be very much like, this was very funny in the 70s, but in the 90s, it's not. Yeah. And there are certain comedies, these are not movies, but I was saying, like, I think I Love Lucy is something that, like, transcends, like, you know, when you watch it now, you watch it, and it's still very funny. Or, like, the Decameron, which is, like, from Plague Time or whatever, and you, like, would read it or watch, like, things inspired by it, and you're like, this is still hits. Yeah. And it's been hundreds of years. Yeah. And so I think, like, The Hangover is definitely, for me, like, one of the greatest comedies of all time. I think, like, something like Airplane is another one where it's, like, to me, that's still funny. Yeah.
I think The Hangover is my answer as well. I also, if I have to do like an honorable mention, of course, I'm going to say Rat Race for myself because I love that movie, but I wouldn't call it the greatest comedy of all time. I know that, but I do think it's an incredibly funny, actually very smart movie. I don't think a lot of people give it credit. Yeah. But I think it's wonderful. I also am going to say Bridesmaids, I think is a great one. And again, I'm really not a huge comedy movie fan. Yeah. But I do think, like, those two are, I mean, obviously the plots are similar. Yeah. But I think, like, those two just really, they just are so quotable. And that's the other thing I was going to bring up earlier, is, like, you haven't had a comedy movie in a while, and you know it's not, like, there hasn't been a big one because there hasn't been, like, a quotable one. Right. Like, you can really quote The Hangover, Bridesmaids, but, there hasn't been one in a while that you can quote the movie.
Now, this is the one that I was going to say that I was like, I'm keeping from you downstairs. I don't think this counts as a comedy, but it makes me laugh. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Fantastic. Wonderful. Comedic timing.
But that's along the same veins. I was actually going to say this earlier. We were talking about like dramas disguise, you know, like dramas or whatever. I feel like the Coen brothers do it really well. They're very funny. Like their
Sasha.
Movies their movies are so funny. Yeah. And like Oh Brother Where Art Thou is very funny. Yeah. But like obviously it's not just a comedy. You'd call that like a comedy drama.
Right. And I have another one I'm going to say if no one else says it.
Okay. I will get into it then. Also, honorable mention, Scary Movie. I love the scary movies. I think it, 1 through 4 are, I still haven't seen the new one. I saw the 5th one. I did not think it was funny at all. But I think the Wayans brothers were not involved in it. But I think the first 4 scary movies are so funny, especially the first 2. We got Friday.
Oh, that is a very funny movie.
I've never seen it, actually.
Oh, it's really good.
Matthew loves that movie.
It's a classic.
Coming to America. The Hangover.
Okay.
Bridesmaids, Home Alone, and Christmas Vacation. Got some Christmas movies in there.
Oh, National Lampoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else would it be?
Yeah. I was like, is there another Christmas Vacation? Yeah. We've got a lot of the hangovers. So The Hangover, Step Brothers.
Okay, that's a specific type of humor, I think.
Yeah, Megan actually said Step Brothers.
Okay.
And then Bridesmaids. I'm not a huge fan of Step Brothers.
I don't like Will Ferrell's I
think the only funny Will Ferrell movie, I think Ricky Bobby is okay funny. I think it's quotable. I do think, I think Elf is his best movie, but other than that, I don't care about Step Brothers. I hate Matthew loves The Other Guys.
Yeah.
I can't stand that movie. I don't think it's funny at all.
I like Will Ferrell, the things that he has a play, he, helped produce, Succession or, certain things like that. I like him on SNL. I just don't like the movies. Yes, I love
him on SNL. I think he as a person is so funny, but I don't like his movies.
No.
Chris did also mention Tropic Thunder, and that's a big one for me as well. Also very quotable, obviously. Yeah. That's also in my top. I always forget to say that one, but it is one of my favorites. Also, if you've never seen this one, it's a Seth Rogen movie, but This Is the End is one of my favorite comedies. Yeah. I think it is so funny. I remember that was one where my mom and I saw in the theaters. We had not even seen the preview for it. It was a complete surprise, what it was even about. I think we just knew who was in it. We laughed so hard. It was just one of the funniest movies I'd seen in so long. I still laugh so hard at that movie. Danny McBride is
I love Danny
hilarious.
McBride. He's so funny.
That's one of my favorite movies.
I think the funniest people are sometimes the most serious ones in real life.
Well, Danny McBride has said he's not ever been into comedy. Yeah. He just is funny, but he reads serious stuff. And I think that's the key to it too. And this is kind of what I was saying with The Hangover. There is a sort of a darkness, a seriousness to it a little bit. Yeah. But that's when it's just, there is I don't know, when movies are taken seriously, I think that they are funny. Yeah.
Yeah. If you put the effort into it. The one I was going to say was Meet the Parents.
Oh yeah, that's
people
a classic.
Forget how funny that is.
I'm surprised my mom didn't say Wedding Crashers.
Oh, Wedding Crashers is funny. I watched that before the wedding.
That one. That one's funny, but my parents love Wedding Crashers. Meet the Parents is good. I do forget. I do like Meet the Parents. Yeah.
I have nipples, Greg. Would you milk me?
Quotable. I think it's at this point, though, I think Meet the Fockers and Little Fockers kind of ruined it for me. So that's why I don't think of that movie that much. To me, it's kind of dumb humor now.
I don't think, when was the last time you watched it, though? Because I was thinking the same thing, too. And then Chris was like, no, it's fantastic. And he made me watch it again last year. And I was like, oh, you're right. This is, the original is so funny.
And then that new one has Ariana Grande coming out. It just looks silly to me. But the first one was genuinely smart and funny. Yeah. But I feel now, I think what made it so funny, too, is you've got, Robert De Niro being serious, being Robert De Niro, but now it's, he's become, Robert De Niro from Meet the Parents. Yeah. So it's, I feel he's only in comedies now, actually, funny enough.
Yeah, that's true. But
I don't know. So that was fun. That was an interesting conversation. It's weird because I feel we don't often align on comedy. Yeah. And so it's an interesting conversation to have. But I'm glad we both agree on our
I feel we do... Sometimes. Yeah.
And some of it could be the times that you show me stuff. Because, again, you and Chris will be like, oh, watch this show. And it's 11 p.m. And I'm like, I'm not going to find anything funny right now.
And that's what I was saying downstairs. I was to find, you also have to hit me at the right time. Mm-hmm. In certain times, I'm just it doesn't matter how funny this is. If I'm not in a mood to be lighthearted and laugh, then...
Yeah. I also don't but it's hard to find something funny when someone shows me something funny and they're laughing really hard at it. Yeah. Which is fine because, think it's funny. But, that's hard for me to then find it funny. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I think, we find things funny together when we both go into it and we aren't, like neither of us is like, this is funny, you'll laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can't put pressure on it. You know?
Right. But you know what we do find funny that is always like funny to experience is watching something not purposefully funny, but like something like we watched To Catch a Predator last week. Which Predators, that's not funny, but like the show itself is, I'm sorry, hilarious sometimes. Like, and I think like we're really finding a lot of comedy in that. And that's something like that is very fun.
Yes, like of the moment, like when we pulled up the Stuart Little boat race, or like
hilarious.
When David Bowie died.
When we watch like wait, what?
From Big Brother, just like David died.
Oh yeah. Maybe don't lead with when David Bowie died.
That wasn't funny. Just the
David's dead. Yeah. No, New York is like the funniest person ever.
Yeah.
That's her name, right? New York?
I don't know. I was just agreeing with you, like, blindly there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could tell. You seemed confused.
Yeah.
I could see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Tiffany Pollard is who I was talking about, but I just was like, I think her name is New York. But anyway, I think, like, stuff like, or when we're watching Divided, like, we are really laughing hard at that show. Yeah. And it's not supposed to be funny.
Exactly.
That's always fun.
That is fun.
So anyway, I hope you guys find something fun to watch.
I hope you guys think we're funny. At least sometimes.
I know. I'm not going to ask you to tell us whether we're funny right now.
Don't tell us. Yeah. No, don't tell me ever.
But there's been times listening back to the podcast I laugh really hard.
I do too. But I don't know if I'm like, because it's just us.
Well, it's usually you telling a really funny story.
Yeah, there are...
The hardest... Okay, my top 3 hardest I've laughed on the podcast and then listening back was one, R.I.C. Oppenheimer. Like that whole... Or my I.C. Oppenheimer. Yeah. That whole like thing was so funny. You telling, sorry, but like, not to recount it, but like your story from school.
The farting story. Yes.
The sit-up story. And then also me telling my Midsummer story where the girl fell over the thing.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
TBS, very funny.
Aw, I miss TBS.
Is it not around?
Well, it's around, but I don't watch cable.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, but I just remember dinner time and watching like Everybody Loves Raymond.
There's always something on. And then sometimes it'd like randomly be like Sex in the City or something. Oh, no, wait, I'm thinking of it would be on Channel TBS. 41, which was one channel down from TBS where I am.
Okay.
And you are.
What was Nickelodeon for you?
Nickelodeon was 19.
Okay, I was going to say 29. What was Disney
Channel?
Oh,
wait, no, you're right. 19 was the Family Channel.
Yes, ABC Family.
ABC
You're
Family.
right. Whoa, I forgot about 19.
Disney's 38.
Yep.
37 is TV Land.
Yeah, what was Cartoon Network?
17.
Mm-hmm. Cartoon Network is 17.
16.
See, okay, yeah.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah. What else is there? Wow, that's crazy.
That's a good one.
Like, I think I will die knowing what channels things were. Wow, that really, like, brought me back.
I know, that was crazy. You saying 19 for ABC Family, really, because I hadn't thought about that one, and that's very
now
true.
It's Freeform.
Ew.
I think 18 was like TNT, 43 Animal Planet.
I didn't watch Animal Planet.
And then I never went like above 43 because it's like C-SPAN. 54 is History Channel.
See, as a kid, I didn't really watch History Channel as a kid.
I watched a lot of like Are Aliens Real when I would be homesick.
I'm trying to think of what Sci-Fi Channel was, because that was one that we watched a lot.
I think it was 40.
I don't remember.
Because 41 is like E.
Yep.
42 is TBS. 43 is Animal Planet. I think 40 was Sci-Fi.
Okay.
I didn't have like much of a life.
No.
This is how I came to a pop culture podcast.
Interesting.
I think because remember it was Sci-Fi and then they changed it to SYFY, Sci-Fi. I mean, I know that's not.
No, that's Sci-Fi.
I know, but like
Sci-Fi would be more like SISCI.
But why would it? It was like Sci-Fi is where I first saw the Leprechaun movie. Scared the shit out of me.
Sci-Fi is, I think, where I probably saw Cabin Fever for the first time. But also maybe the Leprechaun as well. That's my mom loved that channel and loved Leprechaun.
Their programming is all over the place. Truly.
Sci-fi and horror.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyways, so back on to something that would have shown on our channel, what was it? Channel 37, TV Land, Little House on the Prairie.
And also later on, Channel 19, when they did a reboot on ABC Family, which was the scariest show I've ever seen.
What? Why?
I'll just be blunt. They made the Native Americans very scary.
Interesting.
They like scalped people on the show. It was very scary. I just remember watching this as like a 9-year-old and being like, "Oh, what the fuck? This isn't a little Carrie rolling down the hill."
Oh my god. Okay, so this will be interesting because you watched the original Little House on the Prairie
Loved
and I
it.
didn't.
What?
Because I think I told you I thought it was.
Why'd you watch this then? That's confusing to me.
Because now I know. When I was younger, I thought it was religious propaganda because my grandma always had it on. And
yeah, when you said that, you mentioned something about it being religious, and I was like, was it a religious show?
No, I think it's just wholesome.
Yeah, it was wholesome.
Which, like,
it was also it was very wholesome, and it wasn't anywhere near the books. I think the ABC Family show, when they tried to reboot it, or they remade it, it was very much like closer to the books and what the time would have been, but it was also like, no.
So I think like what's interesting is, and this is based off of what people have been saying online, and then so you'll have to like keep me straight. Okay. But it seems
also haven't watched the original show in years, so it's hard to remember. But
yeah, but this is like. This version just came out on Netflix like a week or two ago. I kind of wanted to watch it because I knew, and here's what I'll say I love about it, is it's like Little House on the Prairie, there are trials and tribulations. They're on the prairie, but it always works out.
It always works out until like, what's the oldest sister's name? Mary?
Yeah.
Until Mary gets like blinded, and then that's pretty serious. She goes blind.
Oh,
but
I didn't know that.
Is there gonna be another season?
I think I got renewed already.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, it's fine.
Spoiler. You didn't read the books?
No.
Where? I feel like that's so your wheelhouse. So that's confusing to me.
I actually am not a Prairie girl. It's probably why I didn't like Kirsten, the American Girl doll. Or I didn't dislike her, but I wasn't like into her. You know what I mean?
Hurtful to me. I was. That's probably why
dog.
I had Kirsten. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because you're not a little prairie dog.
No.
Poe reminds me of a prairie dog. Actually,
I could see that. Oh. But okay, so first
I
of
loved
all,
their little outfits.
I could see that. They're very cute. Like, I think I texted you, I was like, wow, I want to live on the prairie, and you...
That was a theme song.
Oh.
Ugh, what a great show. Stupid,
are you going to watch the new one? Why?
Because I love the original.
Okay.
I'm not interested. I'm good on that one.
It's really good. I think, like, okay, so first of all, this is not having to do with the show, but Prairie is such a hard word to spell. Every time I tried to research this show, I was really struggling.
A lot of R's.
Yeah, and a lot of I's. Anyways, I literally wrote, I cannot spell Prairie for the life of me, Jesus. Okay, so I think, like, the characters are, I think the whole show is more, like, true to the books than maybe, like, the 1970s version, where, like, because it's, like, fictional, but loosely based on Laura Ingalls Wilder. Laura Ingalls Wilder's life growing up on the prairie, which I had to look up. I was like, okay, well, she was, like, giving interviews in, like, the 60s, but I guess she lived in, like, the 1870s or whatever. And it's, like, right after the Civil War, too. So they kind of, like, will make these allusions to, like, the war or whatever, and you just, like, have to know.
Yeah.
And I think the characters are more realistic in a way, too, because it's not as, I think, wholesome. Like, it's extremely wholesome, but it's not as, like, doo-doo-doo wholesome, like, I think, as, like, the original Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
It's more realistic. There's more of, like, a darkness to it, where I think, like,
it's probably somewhere in the middle between the original and the ABC Family
nobody's
version.
getting scalped that I've seen.
Right.
But I do think, like, they make it very clear that it's like, oh, they've come to this, like, prairie land that is, like, supposed to be free to them, like, it's their land, but they make it very clear, like, it wasn't your land, you're taking it from these Native American tribes, and also kind of the difficulties of, like, interacting with the Native American tribes, and, like, having that awareness, whereas I think in the original, like, they were, like, people have said and let me know, but, like, Native American people are portrayed very, like, caricature-esque of who they are, and, like, you know, just very, like, how a 1970s show would do a take on, like, anyone of any other race. Mm-hmm. And I think it's also, like, people are calling it, like, woke Little House on the Prairie. I don't think it's woke. I think it's more realistic to the times.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, all people from different backgrounds, races, and cultures are coming out to, like, start a new life on the prairie. Yeah. And you're going to, like, interact with these people.
Well, and I think, like, I don't even remember them really touching, and I'm sure they did, but not too much, as much as they should have, been touching on, like, the Native American storyline in the original series.
Which is, like, not heavily involved in this one. It depends on, like, the episode. But, I mean, like she is trying to be like the one Laura, the middle child, is trying to be friends with like this like Native American girl, and she can't understand why her mom is kind of like, no, don't, it's dangerous. And so then you have like these Native American characters where it's like they have to rely on each other basically, because it's like now we're like creating a new landscape and a new future, but then you also have like these Native Americans that break into their house and like try to steal all this stuff because. And I think if you don't have this context that's added in the next scene where they're like, what, I'm like stealing from them? They stole from us. I'm stealing the jam that they made with the berries that I planted 4 seasons ago. Like, do you know what I mean? Which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
And I think it's also interesting that there is more like African American representation on the show where like the main doctor, who I think is only in, someone said 1 episode in 9 seasons, but he plays a prominent role, I think, in the books. Yeah. He is black, and so is the woman who owns like the store in town, which I don't know if she was in the original show. And they don't do like a Bridgerton thing where they're just like, oh, like we're just races mixing together. Like they make it very clear that it's like the black store owner, she is not invited to like the main, like the mayor's wife's house or whatever, which I think is interesting. There's also like a little bit of a darkness or like more realistic relationship between the mother and the father, which I love. This one TikTok, she was like, people keep saying that like this is like woke Little House on the Prairie, and it's true to all the other versions, and that Pa can get it.
Okay, Michael Landon, I think, played him in the original series. He was so hot.
Okay.
And I know this guy. I saw the photo of him. He's also very hot.
Luke Bracey, hot. Mr. Edwards in the original version was kind of like an older guy. He's played by John Christie in this show. Hot. He is so handsome.
Who's Mr. Edwards? I'm trying to
He's kind of like, he is like a drunk guy. Or he like kind of is like, he's around them a lot. He has like a really close relationship with Laura. Okay. He kind of lives on his own. But
okay, it's hard for me to remember the storyline that much. And I read all the books, like I watched the show, I just don't remember. Is Nellie a character in the series?
I don't know. I don't know if I've met her.
She was like a mean girl. I'm trying to, hold on.
The children of the mayor are mean girls.
Nellie Olson, yeah.
Okay.
She's a little bitch. A famous fictional mean girl and rival to Laura Ingalls. Look at her. I'm not trying to shade the girl, but like, look at her face.
Oh, she looks like she would get a beating.
But like, look at that face. She's like,
Mm.
Did you ever watch Anne of Green Gables?
No, but I think I would like the one, the Anne with an E.
You probably would like that. I think, okay, the original series, that was also one that was kind of like religious coded. It wasn't, but I think it was. But I actually recently saw it kind of for the first time. I've seen like episodes, but like I recently saw it and I'm like, that's a fun show. It's like a peaceful little calm show. Yeah. I'm really learning of like 70s
peaceful shows.
Yeah. But anyway, continue.
But I think like the casting is so good. So the character, so Alice Halsey plays Laura, and she is fantastic. And I knew I recognized her. She was on Lessons in Chemistry where she was even younger. Like this was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I remember at that time being like, wow, this child actor is like fantastic. She is a great Laura. And I didn't see the original Laura, but people have said like she stays very true to the character while like not getting like lost in it. Like she's definitely creating her own. And I also love seeing the relationship between her and Mary because it really reminds me of me and my sister, where my sister is the older one who's very much like, I follow all the rules and like I do everything they say. And Laura's like, let's go down this path and see where it takes us.
I'll be honest, that's why I was surprised when you said you've never like seen the show, you never read the books, because you remind me of like, I feel like it's kind of like how you're like Joe coded. You're definitely like Laura Ingalls Wilder coded.
Yes, like I like watching where they're like, because there's nothing to do, they live on the prairie and they're snowed in and they're like, Laura, tell us a story, and she's like, okay, and like gets up. I'm like, that would be me. I realize
you're very like like my childhood book characters come to life.
Oh my god, thank you. I love that, actually. That is the best thing anyone's ever said to me.
Aw.
Thank you. Well, I guess which characters, but you know.
Sorry, the way you said that was funny. The ones I named.
You're mistrunchable. No.
I want to say one. I want to bring one forth, but I don't want to offend you. But I mean it in a fun way.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Junie B. Jones.
No, I want to be Junie B. Jones for Halloween one year. She was my I read
your
Junie
idol.
B. Jones. It was like her and Amelia Bedelia. I was like, I have been seen.
Yeah, you're very Junie B. Jones coded, but you're not like as like messy. Like you're not like crazy
as a child, like literally, I'm not kidding. The episode where she wears a dog collar,
First of all, has there ever been a show? Because they should absolutely do that.
They should. They redid the artwork recently, and I hate it. I hate it so much. But anyways, I went down to my laundry room and I got a spare dog collar, and I started wearing it around the house until someone was like, "Isn't that Lily's collar?" And I'd be like,
"You were actually wearing your dog's collar."
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And then like, "Okay, I'll take
For
this
what
off."
reason? You were just pretending to be a dog?
I was like, "Well, if she can do it, I can do it."
Oh, well, why did she do it? Like, what was the reason?
I think she thought it was like a fun necklace or something. It was in the Valentine's Day, I was gonna say episode, but book.
Yeah. Interesting.
No, I love that. I love Junie B. Jones. I'm not offended at all.
Okay.
My dad called me Messy Marvin, so like I'm very aware of these
Well, it reminds me, have you seen that TikTok of the girl? She's like dying laughing, and she's like, I tried to tell this girl she like was so like fresh, like her style was so cool, and she was like, you look like this girl, you look like Junie B. Jones, and then she Googled, she was like, and Junie B. Jones, like, if you don't remember, she was crazy looking, like her like hair was like all over the place, and she was like, I meant Fancy Nancy, I told this bitch she looked like Junie B. Jones. And it really, like, I laughed so hard at that video. But anyway, I think like vibes, you remind me of Junie B. Jones.
I could see that for
Which
sure.
Again is why, like, that's like one where like I really read like Laura Ingalls Wilder's books. Like I was like, okay, I love these characters. I'm not them, but like I want to be like reading them, which is like, I feel like explains our friendship.
Yeah, like, that really does. I feel like anytime we like put ourselves in a story, whenever we explain the roles, it's always just like, and that explains a lot about our friendships and the people who we connect with in our lives. Absolutely. 100%. And I also like, I just think it's just like really enjoyable. Like, this is slightly a spoiler, but not really. Like, again, it's like there are trials and tribulations. They're living on the prairie. Yeah. But like the first episode, it's like their dog has like ran away and they're like freaking out. But I was never concerned because I was like, it's Little House on the Prairie, and I guess unless it's that
now that ABC Family that thing's throat would have been cut like on screen.
That is
been
crazy.
John Leguizamo throwing that puppy off the cliff.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Well, except for that, I was like, I know this dog is gonna come back because it's Little House on the Prairie, and like nothing too horrible is gonna happen to these characters.
Yeah, I used to always find it so comforting, actually, even though it's, thinking about it now, it's awful, but like the not a caravan. What do you call their...
Oh, wagon?
Their wagon. Caravan is the...
Yeah.
Okay. There's like I remember like a scene from the show, or maybe it was in the book. Now I don't remember. But she's like walking beside the wagon while the dad's like driving it. And they're all like in the wagon. And she's just like walking beside it because she's like wanting to walk. Yeah. They're all like on their way. Like they're on their little pilgrimage. And, not pilgrimage, but you know, whatever. And I just always found it so comforting. I'm like, oh, and then she gets to get in the wagon and be comfy when she wants to be. And not comfy, but I don't know.
And here's the thing also, they build a fantastic little house on the prairie.
It's so cozy.
It is, but it is also crazy. So in the first season, like the mom gets pregnant and she has to give birth in a snowstorm. So like they just put like a sheet up, and like the other girls are in the other, like on the other side of the cabin. It's the quietest birth I've ever heard. Well, like it's so quick and quiet. And I'm like, okay, well, I get that like your daughters are in there, so you don't want to like scare them, but like that's like she just literally
it's
hear
like
her
a
just
quiet
being, like,
place when she's like in the tub.
Yeah, you just hear her being like, ah, that's it, and like there's a baby. But also like when are y'all making this baby? You know what I mean?
What room are you guys going to?
Yeah, like like I'm like, oh, okay. They all get sick, and it's like, yeah, you live in one room.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where the house seems cozy, the wagon seems cozy. That life would be hell, though.
And it also makes me wonder, like, it seemed like they knew, like, one, how did people know how to, I guess they were just building houses, so they knew. But I'm like, seems like you could just build a small room onto the side of the house. You built the whole house. He
probably doesn't want to work on that.
Yeah, like, I'm like, what
he's like, I gotta chop some wood.
Yeah, interesting. So I really liked it. It already before it even came out, it already got renewed for season 2. I think they did a fantastic job as not having seen the original. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, this is lovely. Aw. And it made me want to go get, like, an illustrated edition for, like, when I have children one day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give it a read. I feel like you would enjoy it, actually.
You could, like, Chris comes downstairs, I'm just reading Little House on the Prairie.
Is it a children's book? I'm just kind of not remembering it being, like, I mean, I read it as a child, but is it exclusively a children's book?
I think so. I think it's, like, usually illustrated.
Really?
And, like,
I don't remember that.
I mean, I think it's, like a Juna B. Jones, like, level type of book.
I don't think so. They wouldn't be making these shows out of it.
Like, I mean, like, it's, like, a chapter book. Like, it's not like you're reading, like, like, One Fish, Two Fish, or whatever. Like, it's not like Dr. Seuss, but it's not like the Chronicles of Narnia. It's, like, in between there. You'd probably be reading it, like, first, like, second grade, I would say. Unless someone's, like, reading it to you.
Give it a read.
Okay.
I think we reread Little Women as children, and here we are, so...
That's true. Actually, I didn't. I read it as an adult. I didn't, like, know anything about Little
it.
Women until, like, the movie came out.
I feel like maybe I saw the original movie first, not the original, but the 90s movie first, and then I read it, but I don't remember. Anyway.
I was such an annoying kid. I remember, like, reading Animal Farm in 6th grade, no idea what I was reading, and then being like, I read Animal Farm. Yeah, like, I read things.
I read that freshman year of high school.
And what's crazy is I had just failed English the year before. So, you know I did not understand that book. I was like, wow, this is like Charlotte's Web. Anyways.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
You're like, there's a pig in this.
Yeah.
It's a talking pig.
I'm like, this seems pretty accurate.
You're like, why are they calling him...
I'm like, I don't understand capitalism, but I understand pigs.
Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that review.
Hey, yeah, anytime.
We'll see you next season.
Yeah. So I just want to touch on a little bit of, this is a little Love Island update from the previous season.
Oh, okay.
That Nic and Olandria have broken up after a year of being together. And there's some people who think it's likely because of, like, they're like, oh, their contract ended or whatever. And I'm here to say, I don't know if they were ever really together. I didn't believe it when I was on the show. Everyone was like, Nic and Olandria, like they had, like, and it was because Nic was dating the girl who got kicked off, like her name was Sierra, and she got kicked off for, like, resurfaced videos. So then he basically left the island, and then so did Olandria, and then they just paired them up together. And they said, like, whoever had left, they were going to pair up together, but I'm like, they were a fan favorite. Everyone, for some reason, thought they had chemistry. I never saw it. Even when they were together for this past year, I never saw it. And it's like, people have, there's been a rumor, apparently, that, from Dumois, that Olandria and Travis Scott have been hooking up. But Olandria was so, like, offended by this that I think she commented on the Dumois post and then blocked Dumois.
Okay.
Which is interesting. But anyways.
Do you think she was on the set of...
of the Odyssey? I hope so. But I'm just like, yeah, they broke up. Like, it's not... very few reality stars really stay together, but I'm like, this was like an orchestrated relationship from the get-go. So, I don't know. She's beautiful, though. She's been in a lot of modeling stuff lately, so I think she'll be just fine. She's going to land on her feet.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
So that's my thoughts.
So that was from last season?
That was from, season 7.
Okay.
So that was from the Huda Mamacita. Nic is the one who said the Mamacita thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, on to another relationship story. Not really.
Guess. I didn't know she was getting married, this person.
Yeah, so Emma Roberts got... this person.
Sorry.
So Emma Roberts got married this weekend, and I just kind of want to touch on it for a second. So she got married to Cody John, who's actually an actor, but I didn't realize... Like, I've never seen him in anything. John? Yeah. 2 first names.
That's crazy. First name, last name.
Yeah, and I've never seen him in anything, so I didn't know he was an actor, but... They got married at a private residence in Idaho, which I didn't realize at first, because if you look at the photos, it looks like she's getting married on a cliff in Italy or something. Yeah. Like, it's really beautiful. It's like a beautiful venue. And so she wore a Monique Lullier custom gown.
Ooh, that was probably fun to say, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I'm hoping I pronounced it right. I'm curious your thoughts on it. Have you seen it?
I thought it was strange.
I thought it was strange too.
So I thought there was something strange about this whole wedding. Like, there's some vibe underneath it that I just like, and I've only seen like the pictures. Yeah,
I think Emma Roberts has, even though I'm like, in some ways I'm gonna say I'm a fan because I think her bitchiness is sort of, I'm just like, yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. I hope she's a bitch, but I also am like, I feel like she's not a good person from what I've heard. She actually seems like maybe not a great person. And did you watch her Vogue video of her like trying on her dress? So she, I think
I saw clips, I think.
Yes, there's a Vogue video of her like trying on the gown. It's a custom gown, and like her family and her friends were there. And, like, it just had an overall very strange vibe to it. Like, I've never seen a Vogue video, and a lot of the comments were like this, too, where it was just, like, had a weird vibe to it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate the dress. I thought it was very unique.
Yeah.
So it was silk chiffon, and it was, like, a vintage-inspired look. So it required 25 yards of fabric dyed to a custom color that it's named Antique Rose, which is a nod to Emma's middle name.
Antique.
Rose, I think. And so the fabric was draped like across like an intricate corset, and then it had like a layered skirt with a slit in the fabric, and then there was like this removable shawl with lace and a dramatic chain, and then it had like a chapel length veil, which was also like rose dyed, I guess. I didn't really notice the rose dye. I just thought, I don't know, but it also had this like lace, like voilette. Well, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce the word, but it like covered her eyes, and it could be pushed back to look like a lace headband, and I think that was kind of the interesting like part of the look.
It's
but
just like it wasn't bad. That's like it's
strange,
hard to put my finger on like what was strange about it. Like
it was definitely, it felt like it was from a different, like I felt like I was watching like she should have been marrying like Tommy Shelby or something. Like it was just a.
And she didn't look, something about Emma Roberts, who I do think she is very pretty. I don't like her as a blonde necessarily. I think it washes her out a lot.
Yeah, I thought the gown, I think, washed her out a little bit. I think it should have been a different, I don't know. I thought it washed her out as well.
Because I think, like, she is a very, like, she is pale as a person. But I think about, like, if you think about Lily Collins, who's also very pale, and her gown didn't wash her out, I don't think. Like, I loved her gown on her. And I think it's maybe because she has, like, the darker hair. Like, if everything is light, then it's, like, it's too, like, I don't know. She almost looked, like, ghostly in it.
She did, yeah. Maybe, she kind of looked like a, not a vintage ghost. What am I trying to say? Like a ghost haunting someone in like an old like Victorian horror movie. She looked good. I mean, I actually didn't hate the gown, but it just was strange.
Something about like all the photos, the gown, the vibe from the people in the photos. I was like, there's something strange about this.
Yeah, and she actually wore black for the the reception. It was also a Monique Lhuillier dress, which I thought was so interesting that she wore black to the reception.
That is interesting. I mean, go off Wednesday Addams, I guess.
I know.
Like,
it was interesting. She's an interesting person. I'm curious what she really is like in real life, because I almost always hear that she is a bitch. So I'm curious.
Well, I also like seeing the people leaving her party. I was like, oh, I forgot that like her aunt is Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I saw Julia Roberts was there. Her dad was apparently not there, which I thought was interesting. Yeah.
Well, I also forget that actor, I forget his name, is Julia Roberts' brother.
Eric Roberts.
Eric Roberts, who is Emma Roberts' dad. And it's like, wow, that mouth really transcends those genes.
I actually do not see a resemblance between any of them.
You don't see Emma Roberts and Julia Roberts? It's the smile.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they were both in Valentine's Day?
Oh, yeah. And everyone was like, like freaking out about it.
Yeah, well, there were so many people. Yeah.
It's very, I don't know. There's something very strange about the whole thing to me. I also thought she was already married. Does she have a child?
She has a child, so that might be why. I think I'm pretty sure.
Very
although they didn't mention the baby at all. It's very religious, what?
Of me, to be like, if she has a child, she must be married.
I thought she was pregnant, wasn't she? Am I thinking of somebody else?
I thought she was. I don't know.
Yeah, she has one child.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, her personal life is wild. Yeah, Evan Peters.
Do you know what I think of her as? And I mean this like not in a mean way, but she kind of is like to me like the female Nicolas Cage.
Kind of camp, like everybody. She's known for like a certain thing. She's maybe a little crazy.
Personal life.
Yeah.
Has a connection in New Orleans via.
Does she?
Coven.
Oh, right. She I think she made the new season too. I used to love her when I was little. From Aquamarine.
Oh yeah.
Remember when she gets thrown in the pool and she can't swim?
Yes.
And she's screaming.
She was good in that.
She had a show, Unfabulous or something.
Yeah.
I just unlocked a memory. Anyway, good luck to her.
I mean, I hope the best of them.
I forgot she went to jail for punching Evan Peters.
Oh my God.
That's unfortunate.
That's crazy.
Sorry, I shouldn't be bringing this up on her wedding.
Oh, no.
On her wedding day.
On the day of Emma Roberts' wedding.
I know.
Wow, well that's crazy.
Whoa, she's a distant relative of Edward Norton. Wow, her family's crazy.
I believe it. Well, just to finish on like a little bit of a light note, so
tap dancey.
Yeah, a little tap tap tap. Tom Holland. So this is like not news in terms of he is playing Fred Astaire in the biopic, but it was announced in 2021, and then no one ever said anything about it ever again until recently. He finally has said that he has been in rehearsals to play Fred Astaire, and he's excited to get back into his dancing roots. Because you guys, if you don't know, I mean, he like trained as like a dancer. He did ballet and like all of this stuff, and that was what he said. One of his
Billy Elliot.
Yeah, his like kind of regrets as an adult, which felt very true. Like in terms of just like all of us, where he was like, when I was younger, like I danced all the time. Like I was like, I got to such a high level as a dancer, and then I just like stopped.
Yeah.
Because he went on and did like other movies and stuff, and he's like, I wish I had kept it up.
But you know, I think it's what actually led him to becoming Spider-Man, because you have to have that like, it's what's like he is so physical in Spider-Man, and he's doing a lot of his like own stunts, and I feel like having that ballet training really lent itself to him playing Spider-Man that I think like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield didn't really have.
Yeah. I watch his Umbrella performance like probably once a week, which is kind of insane of me.
I
it's
saw
just
a
so
clip
funny.
where she was like doing a Rihanna impression, or she did something Zendaya was doing something Rihanna related, and somebody was like, wonder how it feels for her to be the second best Rihanna impersonator in her relationship. Yeah. But it's interesting because when you were saying that, so Tom Holland, like I said, he played Billy Elliot, so he's also sang, which if you haven't seen it, there's a very funny video of him just like breaking into song on the Today Show. Where and
there's a funny video of Zendaya mocking him.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Because it's got a or whatever it is.
It's such a like kid thing to do. But I also think what another kid thing to do is, because I had this where like I grew up like doing like theater, like, you know, musical theater and like singing.
Yeah.
And I saw him in an interview recently, and I was kind of curious. I'm like, I wonder if he can still sing. And then I saw him in an interview, and he was like, I could never sing now. Like, I would never do that. And I'm like, yeah, you do get to a point. I feel like all kids are like a lot of kids have this where they like grew up like they were singing, and it's like I would never sing in front of people now, but I did like chorus. I was always doing like recitals, and I would sing in front of people, and like I could never do that now.
But I still have like this kid dream sometimes where it's like someone overhears me singing, and they think that I'm like they're like, wow, you're
should we
really
do it on
good.
here? I mean, we have microphones.
No, I would rather die, but thank you. You guys have heard me mock singing,
right? I think we do that. We do kind of sing a lot, but we're not really singing.
It's not my like real singing voice when I mock sing. I want you guys to know. I can belt a song sometimes. It's always men's songs though. I can't sing a woman's song for some reason.
You're an alto?
Yeah, Chris and I having this discussion.
Will never know what I am because I went through I'm sometimes a soprano and then sometimes an alto when I was in chorus. So to this day I don't never know what I am.
I was thinking about you the other day. Do you think like your choral background is what also helps you to be really good at doing impressions?
I don't know. Am I good at impressions?
I think so.
I actually think so too.
I actually don't know why I was thinking about your choir background and your impressions. This is like while I was driving.
Yeah, why are you thinking about my choir background?
You know?
I once didn't make district choir and it made me really sad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I did make honors course though.
Oh, well that's good.
Yeah, it's interesting though. I do feel like as a kid, like, and I think it's because as a kid you have more confidence, or you have more freedom. You allow yourself to do things, whereas like an adult, you're just like, I am not going to sing in front of people.
But I think about this with like his answer of just like I wish I had kept up like that dancing. I feel like is so true to people, where it's like you think about like you know, you were in choir. Like I think about like when I was in orchestra and like I like got to a certain level and then I just like stopped, and I'm like I always wish like I had continued that, or even like learning Spanish or whatever, so I have just continued, then like I would have been fantastic by now.
I know,
but I mean I'm sure he's
wasn't
gonna be
in the cards.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, in high school like I stopped doing chorus and I did newspaper, and then I ended up,
oh my god, same.
Oh really?
Well, I did orchestra till the end, but
till the end of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. For us, it was an elective, so it was like I had to choose either. But yeah,
But also he was one of the first ones to throw up on Hot Ones. So.
I think he was the first one to throw up on Hot Ones because they asked him. He did Hot Ones again with John Bernthal, and it's such a funny. It's a really good one.
I didn't watch it. I just watched.
Oh my gosh, it's so good because I watched it. I didn't even know he had like I was watching the whole video, and then at the end they're doing like their promo, and they're like dying from the heat, and Tom Holland just vomits all over the floor, like vomits on the floor, and John Berthel's like, yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, you would think it would happen more often.
I know. It's so funny that it's like a British man can't handle his
He does seem like spice. He would throw up on Hot Ones, I will say, and I love him very much.
But he's done Hot Ones before, but they were really suffering.
Yeah. I don't understand why anyone goes on that show. I would not, like...
So the reason I would, it always makes me hungry, although I found out that it's just like heated up hot wings. They're not like particularly good wings, I don't think. But I would go on that show. They do always make me hungry, but I also wouldn't because I would be worried that chicken's like in my teeth. I don't know if they check it in between like
they definitely like edit, because even with Tom Holland, I don't think they showed him throwing up. Like they edited.
No, you didn't watch it.
Oh, I thought someone said they edited it out.
No, he threw up. They just didn't show like the vomit, but he does like he's like coughing, and he's coughing towards the floor, and then he just like throws up.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's
you should watch it. It's a very
like,
fun video.
They give you milk too, because it like
helps.
I
would think that's really nasty. It does help with the spice.
Yeah,
but they pointed out they were like the milk helps for like a second, and then the spice immediately returns.
And also, then you just have all this spice and milk in your stomach. Ugh. That it's just like, yeah, you're gonna throw up.
Well, and they also pointed out because like Tom Holland said the last time he did Hot Ones, he went to a game after, I forgot, like not like a Lakers game. I forgot. He went to some game after. He was like, I thought I was going to shit myself.
Yeah.
And they have to go and do like press after that. I'm like, why would you do that?
I wonder how many people actually have thrown up just like later on when your stomach starts to try to digest it.
Remember Conan's one where he like, oh my gosh, he goes like crazy. He like is like his full Conan self, and he like loses it, and he like pours like he's like doing a bit, but he pours like all of the sauce like in his mouth, and he like does like chugs the milk, and everyone was like, he talked about it on his podcast because people like, he's like, that's the most questions I get as like a celebrity is like, how was it after that episode? And he's like, yeah, he like really suffered after that, I think.
Yeah, I'm like...
But the fact that they go and do press after that is crazy. I'd be like, Hot Ones needs to be filmed at the end of the day when I can go back to my hotel room or whatever.
Laying with an AC and a fan on.
Yeah.
And like a private hotel room with a private bathroom.
Have you ever done the Hot Ones challenge?
No, I'm allergic to chicken, so...
Right. You could put it on something else. I don't know. We did it. It was... None of them were spicy except for that. I think it's like the bomb or something. I forgot what it's called. But there's one that is like pretty hot.
Well, I just never understand the appeal. Even when I would go to Buffalo Wild Wings, people would be like, there's one
that's
I
would never do that.
And I'm like, this just is like a chemical hotness.
And also now you're in public suffering.
Right. I do like that they ask them questions.
Well, and also like Sean Evans is like a particularly good interviewer. So there's something about that, like... that interview style that is just... But do you think like celebrities are kind of sick of all the food interviews? Because you've got like Hot Ones, you've got Chicken Shop Date, you've got what's the one where it's like they do the their last meal?
Oh yeah, or like the Royal Court.
Oh yeah, I guess they eat on... Although the first time I saw them eating was the Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway one. Does she usually have a charcuterie board?
I don't know, but I'm just thinking of all the like gimmicks with these interviews now, and I wonder if they're tired of that. Like even like with the Odyssey where they did the game where Robert Pattinson had to guess who it was, and he was like, "Am I ugly?" Which was like funny.
Am I ugly?
But I wonder like for them, like you could like sometimes you can tell that they're just like, okay, this is the third like strange game interview that I've done.
They always seem happy with it though. I think they almost prefer the games over being asked questions. But I once saw Daniel Craig when he was doing press for that movie Queer that he was in, the Luca Guadagnino movie. And I think Daniel Craig seems like maybe a difficult person because he was doing an interview with the actor, I can't remember his name, but the actor that he was in that movie with. Yeah. They were doing like this like weird, it was like a Vanity Fair game where it was like they were both like they were doing like a game where they said which one was which, but then in between they'd be asked like poignant questions about this like very kind of serious movie. Yeah. And Daniel Craig like cut off the interview and he's like, I'm sorry, can we just like choose one or the other? He's like, I don't want to be he's like, I can't take those questions seriously but then also be playing this game. And I was like, ooh.
Which is fair. It's like it is kind of not appropriate for like
for like a pretty serious topic. Yeah, serious movie.
I like the one where they have the puppies come in though. That's fun.
That's fun. And I think they enjoy that if they like animals.
I do like Royal Court with Brittany Broski. I like the clips from it because I think she is funny.
She's funny. I think I really am kind of... And I don't include like Sean Evans and Amelia... what's her name?
Oh, de Moldenberg.
Yeah, de Moldenberg. I don't include them in this, but I am kind of tired of the influencer like thing. I think Brittany Broski is a pretty good interviewer, and I think she's funny, but Royal Court, I'm kind of like, I don't really get it. Why was that her shtick? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
I never really watched those. I'll watch like clips from it.
Yeah. But anyways, well, I hope, Tom, that you recovered and that you're... Imagine, like, doing Hot Ones and then movie. Later that day you have your tap dancing rehearsal.
Can you imagine?
God.
Don't think he did that,
like,
but...
Canceling.
I will be seated for that Fred Astaire movie.
Oh, absolutely. He's a good pick for that, too.
Yes.
That's, like, perfect casting.
I wonder how the KJ Apa Jimmy Stewart movie...
I think it'll be good. I could see it.
Has it come out yet? No, it hasn't.
No, I don't think so.
I just find that an interesting casting. But anyway... Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Yeah,
thank you guys for going on this little ride with us. We hope to see you next week, the week after, and forevermore. Bye.